Hey, Coach, this is Coach Simpson again. Appreciate you tuning into my YouTube station. This week is game plan week. So this is the week I'm walking through different ways you can do to kind of game plan an opponent, some general tips, not specific to my offense. If you do want things on my offense, really, I've got other materials as well. You can go to my website, fbcoachsimpson.com. Real quick announcement, I'll get into what we're doing today. It is membership month over at FB Coach Simpson. So if you decide, hey, I want to be a member in this, what am I getting? Well, you're starting off, depending on which level you pick, with either free materials or discounted materials, and you're also going to be able to get behind the scenes information. And I know the first one is on there. If you get the gun tee or the head coaching one, where you're going to get in-depth 2 hours worth of film of me breaking down an opponent, putting a game plan together, what worked and what didn't work. So if you're interested in that, go to my website, sign up to be a member this month. If you do it this month, you're also getting something free. So that's kind of a cool deal. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about what we're going over today. So yesterday we hit scouting an opponent. What do we do for scouting an opponent? We do the funnel effect. We're going to get all this information. How do we distribute that out? Today we're going to talk about now game plan. So I've got the information. I know what I want to do. As coaches, we've come up with our plan. And of course, you do this on both sides of the ball and on special teams. If you're a well-coached team, there are 3 parts of football, and you're going to be super coached up in all 3 of them. For example, today I'm going to stick on the offensive side of the ball, but this stuff can apply to defense, and of course it could also apply to special teams. So when you decide on your game plan, you've got to start thinking of different things. Well, how am I going to implement this? I only really have 3 days of practice. And if we have JV game on Monday, I may only really have about 2.5 days worth of practice. So how am I going to get this game plan put in? Okay, then you have to figure out what drills we're going to run. And if we decide we're going to put something new in, how are we going to get that in and what are we going to take out? First of all, let me give you old coach's advice that came to me, and I ignore it even though I'm giving it back to you because that's what offensive guys tend to do, unfortunately. Understand that the more you put in, the worse you're going to be at all your other stuff. So just if you're week 5 and you're putting in a brand new concept, it's probably not going to go well because you're going to have to spend so much time on that you're not going to be good at all the other stuff. And I've been as guilty as anybody doing that. To me, all your implementation should have been done on the front end. So when I talk about specials here in a minute, I'm talking about something off of a play you have, or perhaps something out of a formation you already have in, but you haven't run yet. Maybe you haven't practiced that. So I'm not talking about some brand new scheme. Going from gap scheme to zone scheme week 5 is probably not a good idea. Okay, so let's talk about now what we're going to do. Again, I'm on the offensive side of the ball. This could apply either way. So offensively, first thing we're going to do is we game plan. We're going to look at what formations do we like. The great thing about my system, the great thing about a lot of other systems is they have the ability to get in and out of personnel groups and in and out of formations pretty easily with a couple tags. So we call that the menu. You get the whole menu. I actually got that term from Coach Kohu over at Little Rock Christian, so I'm going to give him some credit there. But basically, the full menu. When you watch Andy Reid in Kansas City, he's got that ginormous sheet. Okay, well, you can't really go into a game going to run all of that stuff. Okay, so I'm looking at what formations benefit us the most. That's what we're looking at against an opponent. That could be a personnel. We're going to attack this kid, and we think this formation gets this kid where we want him. That could be, hey, they really have a hard time, or we really like how they adjust to trips or empty because it gives us whatever it is. We're going to pick our formations, and then we're going to make sure on Monday we're going to hit those, and then we're going to hit them inside of team on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then generally on Thursday we're going to hit them inside of our script somewhere. So those formations are going to be real quickly reviewed because should be a review on Monday. And then we're going to be able to go through them during team. So we know we're going to script them inside of that team practice during Tuesday and Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we're going through our script for the game. They'll hit them again. Because if you put them in and you're not hitting your script, you're probably not going to run them. Okay, again, we are trying to limit formations. That doesn't mean in the middle of the game we can't go back to the big menu. But it means these are the things we really like. Okay, so we're going to make sure we hit these in practice. All right? Then you're going to talk about concepts. So again, how are we going to practice concepts? What drills are we going to run with this? How's that going to look? Well, let's say we know, hey, we're going to be really heavy this week on belly. That's going to kind of probably be the better run that we think. Well, we're going to build our practice schedule, so we're going to hit that pod where we're working our guards, we're working the RPOs off of that. We're going to make sure we rep it inside of inside drill, and then we're going to hit it inside a team. We're going to hit inside a team and inside drill probably every day. We're going to probably hit it in our pod work maybe twice that week if we think that's going to be a heavy run play. Let's say it's an RPO. Hey, we really like this RPO this week. Well, that's what we're going to run inside of pod work. We're going to schedule that in there probably 2 days, as well as during team. If it's a passing concept, usually that's going to hit during 7-on-7 period. We're going to make sure we hit that pretty hard in 7-on-7, and of course we'll hit it again during team. So it's just ways to make sure that you are working your practice schedule to match that. And it needs to match the drills. If we're going to run snag route, and that's a corner route with our slot receiver, well, guess what route he needs to be running inside of individual with his receiver coach? He needs to be running corner routes and being coached up on that. So we want to make sure we start looking at our game plan. We should be, once we have it in place, now we should be looking at our practice schedule and implementing all of these things in the correct percentage. That's why I put percentage up here. In the correct percent, you're going to use them. We're only going to throw snag route maybe 2 or 3 times. We're not going to spend a huge amount of time. We're probably going to spend more time on maybe screens or whatever other concept we're going to run. Then you got your specials and inserts. And again, I've already kind of talked about this. This should not be a brand new concept. Now, it could be, maybe a tag off of a concept. Let's say we're going to run bubble, and now we're going to run the bubble and go. Okay, that's going to be our home run hitter. Usually, if I'm doing an insert or a special, I want a touchdown or a big play. That could be like a throwback screen, possibly. Doesn't have to go down the field. It could be a double pass. It could be some kind of reverse action. But I'm looking for something that's going to be an explosive play down the field that is an insert that's coming inside of what we already run so our kids can understand that quickly. If we're going to run something new, we need to hit it every day. So Monday, need to hit it inside a team. Tuesday, need to hit it if it's something that's unique. We need to hit it inside of probably individual or pod work, and then inside of team as well. Same thing on Wednesday, same thing on Thursday, because it is new. And that's why I said be careful how much new stuff you put in. Because a lot of times, if you're like me, this new play we might run it once. So I don't really want to spend just a huge amount of practice time on a play we may run once. However, if it's a play that can score me a touchdown, yeah, we'll spend some time on it, because those big plays a lot of times are how high school games are won. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of information, just kind of how I think through things. Of course, this can go over to defense. This can go over to special teams. You need to be practicing the individual work and then practicing the concepts as well. And then, of course, anything special you're going to do, you got to make sure you hit it. You got to focus on how you're going to work that. Don't forget, guys, it's membership week on my website. If you join this month, depending on which group you join, you get something free, whether it's a CoachTube course for free, or it's actually one of my head coaching bundle books. So you actually get a free book. Basically you're saving money getting in the membership to get the book. So basically it's, I hope, worth your time and worth your effort. And I think you'll enjoy what's on there. Appreciate your time.